in Grand Central, New York City. That's the ceiling. You can't really see it too well. It's in reverse. It's constellations. There it is, Grand Central. Even the ticket booth counters are really nice. That's the information booth over there with the clock. Then, this is the ticket booth counters. Most of them are closed. And the signs showing the routes. Yeah, more ticket booth counters. And this line here, apparently the MTA is hiring. So it wraps this way. There's also a crazy line outside, which is even longer. They're bombarded. So yeah, the chances of them hiring you on the spot are really tough. Because they have like 1,000 or so people. Look at this. Excuse me. They're guarding it like with their life. They're not letting anyone in. See this crazy line? Hello, Stream Elements. Thank you for joining. Excuse me. Everyone's like rushing to get in. The line keeps going. We got the police guarding the entrance. They're guarding the pizza too. Just line out the door. That line down the block. So the one inside, you can go inside. Maybe that line's shorter. It's definitely shorter. Because that wraps a few times. The other one doesn't. I don't know if the other one's for a job that people don't want, like being a janitor or something. They actually make good money for the MTA. Who knows? So now we're on Park Avenue. There's Grand Central.
I don't know where she gets it, but you know.
TD Bank used to be America's most convenient bank. Now they have like hours that are not so convenient anymore. They used to be open 7 days a week. I don't know if they're open 7 days a week. They're open 7 days a week is when it's convenient. It's a chain, the Little Beat right there. Los Tacos #1. That's a chain too. You know, we have local chains. Lines out the door. The tacos are supposedly really good. Now, would you wait 45 minutes for tacos that you have to pay for too? Yeah. I don't think I'd wait 45 minutes for free tacos. So if you're joining, we are on Park Avenue. We just started the stream at Grand Central right over there. We're in the main hall. And we're just walking south. Keep walking south. They have sign where you 5 trance golf, where you spin a wheel and you might win something. I have no idea. I guess if you like golf, that's the promo. It's happening right now at Park and 40th Street. Since I'm not a golfer, I don't think I'd want any of the prizes. Probably the top prize is like the golf package. Probably like virtual golf or something. There we go. Metropolitan Commercial Bank. That's what's over here. Like offices. Oh no, that's actually retail branch. My mistake.
I'm home next week.
That's the bank. But I wonder if they're involved with a lot of real estate and they're not doing so well. Commercial bank. Sounds like it. You're right on Park Avenue, for heaven's sake. There's a yellow taxi, still a staple of New York. That one's a hybrid RAV4. It's a wheelchair accessible taxi. That's a wheelchair symbol. There's a Toyota. Again. Waiting at that light and holding this gimbal and phone, I had a flashback of when I was a child. One of the founders of a middle school, part of the high school I went to, I switched high schools, was a former traffic commissioner. So he had access to all sorts of stuff of the traffic patterns. So I remember he changed the traffic pattern. You know, he had keys to those traffic lights. He changed the traffic pattern. So there was like a whole buildup of cars. That was pretty wild. Then he also had a radar gun. We were checking cars' radars as they were going through. You know, I'm sure. You know, it's only for educational purposes, but can you imagine schools allowing you to do that now? In New York, I don't think they don't do it. They probably say, oh, it's too dangerous, or some bureaucracy and too much red tape, that the city wouldn't approve it. And again, he probably just did it on his own without asking the city for permission. Avenue. One thing you don't really see much is hot dog vendors on Park Avenue because most of them aren't allowed. There's one guy who somehow years ago got a permit. He's like the only guy on Park Avenue, except I guess when you get to around 14th Street you see him. Up in this area in the 30s, approaching 36th Street and Park, he's your guy. The sole hot dog vendor on Park Avenue, right there. So I don't think they'll give you a permit. Park Avenue is too ritzy and glamorous with all these doorman buildings all over the place. Just joining us, we're on Park Avenue, going south, and we're at 36th Street. surrounded by all these doorman buildings. There's also a art gallery in plain sight on the promenade right over there. They have all these different things, pieces of art. It's been there for like, I don't know, a year. I'm surprised it's still there. May it'll just become a permanent fixture. This building here, 23 Park Avenue, I always thought it was really cool. It has a plaque, it's that cool. The building deserves a plaque. This Kim, Mead and White. There's a really famous developer back in the day. Residence completed 1891, commissions by James Hampton Robb. 1846-1911, former cotton broker, New York State Assemblyman and Senator, 1882-85, and Commissioner of the Parks Department, 1887 to 1890. Designated an Italian Renaissance style by Stanford and White. Well, if you just freeze the frame, you can read it all. Too much. It just kept going on. I didn't have time. Light has changed. We walk. And that we go. See, there's all these doorman buildings. And in New York City, a lot of the doorman buildings have on the first floor like doctor's office, like a therapist, some sort of medical office, usually a therapist, but it could be something else.
It's gone now.
There's another doorman building, and a lot of these doorman buildings on Park Avenue still have the whole old uniform look of a doorman. You know, they have a whole, the white gloves. And we're at 34th Street. Traffic runs both directions on this one. Keep going. I had to go to Midtown today to show a commercial space. I'm just walking back. It's a beautiful day. Why? If you're not in a hurry, why take public transit? So this is one of those subway stations ahead of us where you cannot transfer underground to the downtown and up to the town. That's only uptown side. You have to swipe your Metro card or scan a credit card or Omni card or whatever, or your phone. You're stuck going in the direction that the train's going. Looks like it's around that time school let out. In New York, if you see kids in uniform, it's a private school. If they're not in uniform, it's a public school. They're only private costs, you know, money. And here's a Jamrock chicken, jerk chicken. They're pretty famous street food. Cost a lot of money. I'm not sure how much. Probably like 15 bucks. I don't know. These guys are cheaper, but obviously there's no line. So it kind of tells you something. There, Jamrock, you smell it. Here you don't smell anything. Well, you just smell tiny, faint smell, but not like the Jamrock truck. Street food though, I'm not really thrilled with street food. The quality, you know, you don't have a real kitchen, so more likely you can get sick. it's just me. If you just joined the channel, we are walking down Park Avenue in New York City. We started, if you go back, we started at Grand Central. If you watch the replay. It's a bit busy as school has let out. This is Chick-fil-A. Years ago, there was something else. The Chick-fil-A does very well. There's lines in there, like 10 people waiting online right now. Something like that. Used to be Cozy, C-O-S-I, I think. Or was that the next block where First Republic is? Cozy was on one of these blocks, I can't remember. When I was a child, like, yay tall. Now, First Republic, that's one of those banks that failed and is now owned by JP Morgan Chase. But they've yet to change the sign, so I don't know if they're just going to use the same name. First Republic Bank. It's a privilege to serve you. Yeah, right. A privilege. You guys couldn't even stay afloat. Privilege. Privilege my you know what. We have NYPD hanging out there in front of the bank.
Yeah, so that is happening.
So I have very limited care. And
Kosher restaurant. And they have Seinfeld. Coffee place. Lines out the door. Bagel Street.
yeah, like sometimes I
I guess they have good bagels. There's people here. Sushi place. This used to be an Irish bar, and they're gone. When I was a child, they were an Irish bar, and during the pandemic, they couldn't make it. Like so many other places. Fresh and Co. They couldn't make it either. They probably were a victim of the pandemic. They still have other locations though. I can't remember what was over there. Which is over Release. A lot of stuff released still. You know, you do have some schools in this area and you have businesses, but a lot of people are working from home. Here's another business. They're gone. They have a place here over here that says grand opening for nail salon.
Meeting that I have.
So that's promising. At least you have more places opening up. This McDonald's here actually was renovated recently. So you know they're not going anywhere. And what's amazing is usually in New York City, McDonald's are like 1 or 2 stories because they usually own the building. And a lot of the places that they didn't own, they left during the pandemic. But here, I don't think they own this building. I'm gonna bet you this is one of them that they're leasing. You know? So it's kind of amazing that they're still there. And they reinvested into the property or the space. It's usually McDonald's, they like to own so they can make money on the lease as well as the food and all the franchising fees. Noisy. refrigerator truck. So you hear the refrigerator running. Yeah, these people, when you're their station. We have a station on I can't think of the name now. Madison Street. Madison Avenue. Okay, over there. Madison Street's in Chinatown. Madison Avenue is over here. 1 block that way. And I think that it's 2 blocks down. This is where they have their station. Army station. Yeah, right there. That's the back one. Cure to all who have committed the pursuit of advanced human health. Cure. They couldn't make it. Wow. You'd think health is doing well during coming out of a pandemic. Who knows?
We all know.
Well, they still have this name on the building here, so maybe they just have offices and they got rid of the retail. Yeah, looks like just offices. Or maybe they have office space for walk-in traffic there. Just not retail level. Provident Loan Society, look it up. They're one of the oldest financial institutions. And almost nobody knows who they are. It's pretty funny. It's one of those banks where you gotta have a lot of dollars, old money. Not this new starter money. Not a fintech bank or whatever. Silicon Valley Bank. No, that's for like the old school money, I think. Little beat table. Again, I think that might be the same little beat. I don't know. It looks like a fancier one. Stretch pizza. I don't know. When I think of stretch, I think of like yoga or something. There's Gregory's, Kava. That's a good Mediterranean. Portions are big, but slightly larger portions, I think, than Chipotle. But I don't know. It's around the same quality as Chipotle, just instead of Mexican, Mediterranean. We had someone was flagging at the taxi, but he had a customer already. I don't know what song that's supposed to be. Sounds like just some guy just playing a guitar and not know what he's doing. Kind of would be like me. I wouldn't know what to do. These About Time coffees are closing all over the city. So August 2nd. Somehow I think all of them might have closed. They popped up like crazy. They started offering all these like free drinks, free coffee drinks. I showed it on the machine. They had an iced coffee machine or something, and sealed the canister. But they popped up all over during the pandemic, and then they're all disappearing. So I don't know if they're all gone or if it's just most of them. Excuse me. So busy this corner. There's nowhere to get on the corner. And then the light changed to the other direction, and oh god, now it's dusty because they're doing demo. Squirrels, they're very popular. They like Chipotle, but different. Restaurant there, a chain. We open end of the summer. This is a really famous building. It was featured in the Netflix. A lot of history of this building. Hi, Joe Hernandez. This building's very famous. It was featured in Netflix. It was, I always blank out on the person's name. Anna, what was it, Sorkin? Something like that. She, or Delvey? She conned a lot of people pretending she was from some wealthy, famous family, and she had all this money, and she was staying at this hotel, and she got these other, her boyfriend or some guy she was dating to pay the bill because she didn't have the money. She claimed she did, and eventually she got arrested, and there was an ankle bracelet in the East Village, and she's confined to her home until she gets deported, I think. Yeah, I forget the name of the show, but that building there was the building that she was trying to buy with an organization that didn't exist, and I think that was her lawyer that she stiffed, and I think her lawyer was the one who finally uncovered all the beans and took her to authorities. So that's the famous building. That's at now we're on where are we now? We're on 20th, so that was 22nd and Park Avenue South. So it's a really beautiful building that you want to buy for an organization with no money. I don't know how she thought she was going to pull that off. Inventing Anna, exactly. And the hotel that that she was staying at in the TV show wasn't the real hotel. It was some sort of like I guess Hollywood fake backdrop or whatever. The real hotel she was staying at was 11 Howard. Years ago it was a Holiday Inn, and then somebody bought the Holiday Inn and closed it and made it some very fancy hotel. 11 Howard was the address. I just can't remember the name of the hotel. But so the hotel doesn't look like it in the TV show, but that's what they were. That's what it was based on. So that show was like, had a lot of stuff that was accurate, but then I guess a lot of stuff that wasn't accurate. Like they didn't use the real hotel. I guess the hotel didn't want them. Approaching 18th Street, and the block south of 17th Street is by Union Square. Union Square today has a farmer's market. It's a few days a week. It's probably the largest farmer's market in the city. I don't know. In the city, not the world, the city, New York City. I guess we'll swing by the farmer's market. Take a look. I think my battery can do that. Hotel. At one time it was a Schrager hotel. Schrager was one of the co-owners of Studio 54, but I think he sold it a while ago. I think before the pandemic he sold this hotel. I'll look at it. Hotel. From the top, you can't see it here, there's a sign that says W Hotel. I'm facing the wrong angle. It's on a different side of the building. It's actually on the Park Avenue side, but you know, if you look north from the south, you should see the sign. Let's see if we can. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is Union Square W Hotel. This is a famous building. We used to have the Film Academy. Then before the pandemic, they renovated it and they built a huge sphere. If I walk back, you'd see it so it like shines, like its dome shines. And they kicked out the Film Academy to do it, and they were filming. They had on movie screens. They had what's it called? Commercials for the space. They were trying to get some sort of like office tenant, but they couldn't find anyone. They were advertising movie theaters, like before, during, instead of a movie trailer, you see a trailer for it. So this is a farmer's market. You can smell all sorts of flowers, fruits. It's pretty good. Back to... So instead they got a Petco, which used to be over there. I think Petco was their last resort. They were losing too much money. But I don't think they originally wanted to have Petco into a brand new space that they renovated. It's like a lot of landlords don't want to have food. It's like they don't want to have a pet store. But you get desperate, you got to pay the bills somehow. Let's see, this is a farmer's market. I don't know, some sort of police get together. See, it just keeps going. Music, which I will just keep walking, so hopefully it doesn't pick it up. I don't know. Let's hope. I don't wanna mute. If I mute later, that's why. We are in the farmers market of Union Square, New York City. Large largest farmers market for New York City, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a few days a week. Wednesday is one of them. I forget the days. It's just whenever I go by and I see it, I see it. But you gotta be careful. Some of the vendors have good prices, and other vendors are way off the mark. So you gotta be real careful. And I confuse which vendor is good. This vendor here, they had focaccia, but they wanted $9 for a little round focaccia one. Another vendor I think has it for like $5 or $4.50 or something. So you gotta be really careful. That's why he had them still, because he wanted $9. And a few weeks ago, when they had an influencer who was going to be giving away all sorts of PlayStation 5s, people were climbing on this that was just renovated, and they said it was going to take it took them like several months, and then they fixed it in like a few weeks. So I guess they replaced it with a cheaper material. I don't know. Looks like it's plastic now. It looks like they were going to have glass before, but we can't have anything nice. That's New York for you. We gotta use crap because people ruin it. It looks like they replaced it with plastic. See? It's like white plastic instead of glass. They had glass, but nope. Can't do glass. We effed up. Well, not me, but fellow New Yorkers or people from out of town. I don't know. Who knows? It could have been from another state who came in. This year, this Regal movie theater was supposed to close, but they renegotiated their lease, so they're able to. Here is Max Brenner's Chocolate by the Bald Man. Very famous place to visit if you want chocolate. Expensive. They also have a restaurant there. I have no idea how the food is, but probably your best bet is just go for dessert. Because they're known for dessert, not really the food. I'm not going to talk about this because last time I talked about it on YouTube, they didn't like it. So we're going to keep moving on. They moved from around the corner. Also had at this movie theater Italian coffee. I exited off Broadway because it's just so damn crowded.
A lot of us, right? I know.
Keep going. The Square Wines. I've never been in this wine shop. It just looks like it's a bad deal. There's another Dos Toros, Planet Burger, another Calva, another coffee, and there's a pizza right interesting pizza. We're gonna stay on this side because it's shade. Let's dig in. Then there's a residential building with a nice clock. Those are expensive apartments. An elevator, but I don't think it justifies the price. You're paying for the location and an elevator. Here is a very basic Hyatt in Union Square. Its location's phenomenal if you like Hyatt, but it's a very basic one. I have a restaurant here. It's not included, but typically not included. Maybe if you're at the top tier of the rewards or something. And get reservations. And yes, it is great weather. Think Coffee across the street, very popular coffee chain in New York. Get the baby. Try not to get the baby. That's just me. That church, old church, they demolished the church but kept the facade. So all you see is that little steeple, that entrance to the church. But you see, there's nothing behind it. Kind of a cool way of remembering it. The developer wanted a new building, but they kept the facade. Very interesting. Connected to Gothic Renaissance. It's connected to Halloween Adventure. This is, if it's not the largest, it's second largest Halloween shop in New York City. They, at the time, were thinking about closing during the pandemic, but they've since I guess changed their mind on that, or maybe it's open-ended lease and now they're definitely going to be here for Halloween. I guess we'll find out after. It's really hard to have a shop that focuses on one holiday a year, compounded with the fact that a lot of movie productions would also use them. But they're not being in use right now with the strike. And that's been going on for several months. As well as there was the pandemic. So that prevented a lot of parties and people going to Halloween parties and costume parties. There was less movies being made. Well, now there's pretty much none unless it's non-union. So, I don't know. We'll see if they
My friends are not really like that.
if they actually survive. What do you think of this building here? You can put it in the comments. It looks weird to me. One of the few buildings with a driveway. There's some others. There's only probably a handful in the city in Manhattan. More so when you get out of boroughs. Still not that many. Daytime, it's not as interesting as that night. Nebraska place. But if you're ever in New York, you should definitely walk down. There's one strip of Astor Place over there. Between 3rd and 2nd Avenue. I am gonna sit down here for a minute, regroup, put this away, check my email. I never know what email I'll have waiting for me. I think it's the Sonics across the street, the white place. It's not really Sonics, they're just things covering it. I think it's too hot for that. That's just me. On that note, have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. I'll see you very soon with another video.